2 days ago, I went to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. Now, this is a new dentist, and I think I've only seen him one other time. Anyway, I sit down and I open my mouth, and he's checking around, and he says, "You know, you have a tongue tie." And I said, "I do?" And he says, "Yeah, you have a tongue tie." He goes, "You should get that fixed." And I thought, I don't know about that, but tell me, how do you fix a tongue tie? And he says, "Well, you cut it." And I said, "You cut it like with an instrument?" He says, "Yes," or he says, "Most common is with a laser." And I'm like, I'm just thinking, I don't know if I want to mess with something. I said, really, maybe it's not really bothering me. And he goes, "Well, Vanessa," he goes, "you have TMJ. You said, do you have headaches?" And I said, my headaches aren't so bad now that I wear a mouth guard. I said, but, he said, "Trouble swallowing?" I said, "No." He says, "Snoring?" I said, "Well, I never snored until menopause, and so that has become more of a thing." And then he says, "Tense neck and shoulders?" I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Yes, my entire life I've had tight neck and shoulders." And I said, "Well, what's the downside? There's got to be some downside." And he says, "Not really, not too much." He said, I'll give you a referral form." So I thought about it, and I was thinking at first, oh, you know what? I don't want to mess with something and then make it worse, especially your mouth. And I'm thinking, I sing as well, like maybe this could make it worse. Like that would be awful. But I have to tell you, I was intrigued. So I left the dentist's office, and of course, what do? I Google. And well, actually first I went to TikTok and I wanted to look at tongue ties. And lo and behold, there's lots to learn about tongue ties. A lot of babies have the procedure, but there's a lot of adults as well. But here's what's amazing. I went down the tongue tie rabbit hole, and I found out a lot. Let me just tell you that your tongue, here's my tie, that fascia is connected from here all the way to the tips of your toes. Can you believe it? And my entire life, from as long as I can remember, I've had the tightest neck and shoulders. Like it doesn't matter how much massage I get, it is always, always, always tight. I have now this kind of hip pain thing, and I'm thinking it's pulling. Did you know that Dowager humps, even Dowager humps, which I don't have, but I do have forward head posture a little bit, like my head kind of, do you know, oh my gosh, do you know that that is related to the tight tongue tie? It's crazy. And oh my gosh, there's so much good stuff that happens when you release the tongue tie. So you can have all these body aches and pains. You can have headache, your TMJ. Singing, when you as a singer, there's a lot of things that, if your tongue placement isn't right, or if you can't, all the things you can't do with the tongue tie that you don't even know because you didn't know you had a tongue tie. The singers that I have seen so far that have had the procedure have all said they had this instant release and this really relieving sort of release of tension when they're singing, an ease. I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. It's kind of late at night. An ease of singing. The tests. Okay, I did the test online. I did along with some YouTubers, and there's one where you open your mouth as wide as you can, and you stick, how many fingers can you get in? Well, I can get almost 4, right? But then you do the next one where you open your mouth, and then and how many fingers can you get? 2. It's supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be whatever you could do this with it's the same. At any rate, I failed the test. So here's what I did. I called the tongue tie specialist that I was referred to today, and I talked to the gal, and she was very informative, super sweet. She was the secretary, the phone girl. But I have to tell you, it was so funny. We were talking about all the different experiences that she's had with clients that have come in and had their, as adults, that they're, with their tongue tie released. And it was so funny. I said, "Oh yeah, I've heard that when singers, especially, that they have a great result oftentimes." And she goes, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "Oh yes, there was an Oprah singer. There was an Oprah singer that came in and said he could sing so much better now." And of course I didn't have the heart to tell her it wasn't Oprah, it was opera. But at any rate, I booked myself an appointment, but here's the thing. you have to do myofunctional therapy. Like this particular office won't even take you, because the first thing they said is, have you been doing myofunctional therapy? Which I knew enough that I had to do myofunctional therapy because I went down the rabbit hole, searching for the tongue tie stuff. So I said, no, but, can you give me some referrals? And they said, we've got a Zoom person, we've got an in-person. And they said that, usually it's anywhere from 3 to 8 months prior before you can get the surgery. I'm like, what? I wanted it right away. But obviously I was thinking like 1 month. At any rate, I called the gal on the phone for the in-person. I figure for my first assessment, I want in-person. I called the in-person myofunctional therapist, and she's very sweet. And she booked me in for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Now, of course, we talked a little bit. I said, how long do you think it will be? And she said, well, probably be about 9 months to a year. And I said, what? 9 months to a year? I said, no. I'm like, she goes, no, calm down. I tend to do that. I kind of jump the gun before I hear the whole thing. She said, no, I mean, that could be potentially the whole thing, but that's part before the surgery. You have to have enough of tongue practice and exercise with the tongue that you can go in and have a successful result with the procedure post, because if you don't, apparently, and just get it cut, that's not good, especially if for years, my tongue has been doing one thing and it needs to relearn. So it's going to take longer than I had expected. But so then, of course, I asked her, I said, well, how much is it? What's it cost per? And kind of a little evasive, but then she kind of says, well, it's usually a package. It's probably going to be, I think she mentioned like 2,000 or 2,500, something like that for the whole thing, but you can make payments on it. I said, okay. At any rate, what I said to the dentist and what I said to the surgeon and what I said to my new myofunctional therapy lady is, why has no one, I'm 54 years old, why has no one ever suggested in all the years of me going to chiropractors, for massage, for injections, for all these various treatments and therapies and everything else in between, no one, and x-rays, no one has said anything about, hey, can we check your mouth? Can we see what's going on with your tongue? And how about my dentist? All the dentists through the years that even made my, $1,800 mouth guard from years ago. Why did he not know about the tongue tie? By the way, my youngest daughter has a tongue tie. I'm going to be the guinea pig. I think my sister, you know what? They say it's hereditary. So I'm going to be the guinea pig. And if I get great relief, I will be like shouting to the rooftops. So I'm going to take you guys on the adventure with me. I figure I'll make this a series because we need more information about tongue ties and the fact that your body carries all this pain that could be connected to the mouth. This could be the $1 billion solution. Tongue tie. It's called frenotomy. Frenotomy. I am really excited. I'm so excited. Listen, when you watch these, I'm whispering. When you watch these videos of these patients, they do before the surgery, they take pictures and video, and then they show you during the video or during the procedure, and then they show them right after. And it is amazing, like their whole body, many times it is like an instant. There are people in the chairs that are like, instantly it felt like, one lady said it felt like she went to Hawaii, like she was on vacation, that feeling of relaxing. It is miraculous. These stories of hope. If you've got pain in your body or in your face or your posture or anything, tongue tie might be the culprit. Stay tuned. Tomorrow's my appointment. I will be updating you and you're going to go along for the ride. I'm going to show you every step of the way. We're going to do it together. Okay, I'm going to go to bed now. Bye-bye. When I was texting the myofunctional therapist all my information with my name, she sends me a message and says, do you have a sister? Your name sounds familiar. And I said, yes, I do. And I told her my sister's name. She goes, oh my gosh, because your sister, we do taekwondo together. Like your nephew is best friends with my son. I'm like, small world. I just love that, don't you? And there's something that just makes me feel kind of warm and fuzzy that I'm going to be spending my money with someone that's good friends with my sister. Okay, I'm really going to bed now. Night-night.